Hello boys, welcome back to another interesting session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 12th biology boys, and this is meant for 26th August 2020. Our memory helps us in tracing out what we have been discussing, and we try to link the past study with the present so that the concept can be clear. So yesterday's class, in our previous session, we were talking about general features of genetic code and transcription. We were talking basically of transcription, that is the genetic messages, secret messages from DNA enter into mRNA in the form of code language. And the general features yesterday we said is that genetic code is triplet, like we said AUG. So 3 nitrogen bases will be forming a triplet code, and genetic code is universal. It is for all living organisms. Same codon codes for specific amino acid. Like when we said AUG, we said MET, methylene, and genetic codons are not overlapping. They don't overlap with each other. There will be sufficient space. So adjacent codon never shares the nucleotides, and genetic code is comma-less, so there is no gap between neighboring codons, and genetic codon is degenerative in nature. More than one codon codes for single amino acid. We said GUA, GUG, GUC, GU codes for one amino acid only, valine or valine. And we also made a table, if you recollect from your memory, writing UCAG on top, on your left side also UCAG, on your right side also UCAG. But on top and left side you are writing alphabets UCAG in separate columns, whereas on your right side you are making it UCAG as a block. And how to write this? Like I said, in genetics chapter we wrote dihybrid cross, monohybrid cross, isn't it? Similarly here we are writing, that is U on top and U on the right side. So U, that is phenylalanine. U from left side, U from top, and C from right side, UUC. Again, that triplet codes for phenylalanine. Again, you pick up U from left side, U from top, and A from right side, UUA, that is leucine. U from left side, U top, and G on the right side, UUG, leucine. So this is how you need to practice, and then you will come to know. And most important thing you must remember for the sake of exam is the stop codons, the red letter one, UAA, UAG, UGA. Now if you see first one, UA is common. Only thing is in third one, second one, if you write UAG, ulta karo, UGA. These are the 3 stop codons, and August is the initiating codon. And also you remember this green fellow, MET. Okay, you know how to remember MET. And this, yesterday we said AUG is the initiating codon. The entire process will be initiated by AUG, and this is called as initiator codon because it starts protein synthesis. It codes for amino acid methionine. MET is methionine. And then terminator codon or stop codon. Totally if you count in the table, 64 codons. 3 codons, UAG, UGA, UAA, does not code for any amino acids. So these are called terminator codons or nonsense codons. There is no sense. And genetic code is unambiguous. Each codon codes for specific amino acid. There is no confusion. And only one amino acid. The codon UUU codes for amino acid phenylalanine only. And genetic code is unidirectional. Codon reads, I said 53, remember? 5' to 3'. And then Uble base. In each codon, third nitrogen base is less specific as you have seen. So these are the general properties, characteristics of genetic code. And when we say Uble base, Uble means not so strong. It's wobbling, we say, just shaking, shivering. So GUA, see third one, and GUC, GUG. First two letters are common. Only third one is wobbling. And all these code for one amino acid only, valine. So that's called Uble hypothesis or Uble base. Now, we have been studying that it's RNA world. It's not only DNA world, it is RNA world. And I said RNAs are of three types. One most important one that helps in transcription is mRNA, messenger RNA. And then we said second one is tRNA, transfer RNA. And the third one, which we talked yesterday, rRNA, ribosomal RNA. So today we focus on transfer RNA, tRNA. The RNA that carries and transports activated amino acids to the site of protein synthesis is called tRNA. As the name refers, transfer. It has to transport something. What is that it is transporting? Activated amino acids. From where to where? From nucleus to cytoplasm. So the site of protein synthesis. It represents about 10 to 15% of total RNA in the cell. The polynucleotide chain is folded on itself to have the shape of a clover leaf. It's clover leaf. Clove, lavanga. So clover leaf model of tRNA was proposed by American biochemist Robert Holle in 1965. He shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology in 1968. Okay, so we must be thankful to Robert Holle. And you can see the diagram, photos of those great people. And now, when I say clover leaf, this is what the shape of tRNA. It's like a clove, lavanga. So tRNA is a single-stranded polynucleotide chain. It folds in some region, as you are seeing here. See, folding is there, folding is there, folding is there, folding is there. Okay, and resembles as a trifoliate leaf of clover plant. It contains 4 arms. 1, 2, 3, 4. So first one is amino acid binding site or acceptor arm. This is acceptor arm. Amino acid binding site. And the second one is what we call arm and loop. That is this one. T arms loop. T arm loop. You remember TC arm loop. And the third one is D arm. DHU arm and loop. That is D arm. You see, you remember it as T arm and D arm. And most important that you should never forget is the fourth one, anticodon arm. This is very, very important. Anticodon. So you have got A arm, that is amino acid binding, A arm, T arm, D arm, and anticodon, AC. So you can remember it as A arm, T arm, D arm, AC, anticodon, AC arm. This is how you can remember. So rarely small fifth arm is present. It is called variable arm. This is the variable arm. You can remember it as V, variable arm. The fifth end has methylated guanosine, and third end, third prime, has 3 free nitrogen bases. This C, C, A. So you got a 5 prime, you got a 3 prime, 5 prime to 3 prime end. Okay, and then 3 nitrogen bases are CCA, and then further continuing, each arm has paired base pairs stem and unpaired base pairs loop. So you got paired and unpaired. The paired already you are seeing here. These are paired and unpaired loop. Amino acid receptor arm, that is AA arm, amino acid has 7 base pairs. Okay, and 3 unpaired bases, CCA. You can see these 3 unpaired, and 7 bases are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And therefore amino acid always binds to adenine present in the third end. So amino acid always binds here at A, adenine. And T arm or T pi C arm and loop contains unusual sequence of nucleotides as thymine, pseudouridine. That's formula, symbol is for pseudouridine. And then cytosine. It helps to bind ribosome at the time of protein synthesis. That is the function of this T arm. And then you get DHU arm. DHU arm and the loop contains dihydrouridine. That's how DHU, dihydrouridine. It helps to recognize specific amino acid activating enzymes, particularly amino acyl synthetase. So as all of us know, enzymes play a very crucial role in any reaction. Now we come to the very important one, AC arm. Anticodon loop contains 7 unpaired nitrogenous bases. Among them, 3 nucleotides act as anticodon. This one, these 3 anticodons, which are complementary to codon of mRNA. So there comes here mRNA, which is like a thread, a single thread, flat, and the mRNA, the triplet code is codon, and this is anticodon. So there should be matching of codon, triplet code of mRNA with the triplet code of tRNA. Then only amino acids will be formed. So it carries a specific amino acid towards the site of protein synthesis. That is the function of tRNA. And you can see here many more diagrams here, same. And receptor arm, T arm, you can see how exactly it will be. Variable arm is there, anticodon arm is there, and then this whole thing is twisted, and the covalent attachment of activated amino acids occurs at this site. Base pairing with the mRNA codons involves these exposed bases. So, and the extra arm also, V arm is there. And this is how when we see under electron microscope, the tRNA will appear. So this is the thing. And what we have been talking, rRNA, ribosomal RNA, the third RNA, is the structural and functional unit of ribosomes. It represents nearly 80%. There we said 15 to 20, here 80%. And without this, no proteins. So ribosomal RNA, you got 2 portions, we said 50S bigger one and 30S a smaller one, and assembled ribosome becomes 70S, and 60S bigger unit, 40S smaller unit, total it becomes 80. But of course you must not ask me, sir, 60 plus 40, 100, how come 80? It is not mathematics. It is, the S stands for units, okay, Strasbourg units, exactly. So here in ribosomal RNA there will be 2 subunits, just like any ribosome has got, no? So this ribosomal RNA is present here, as you are seeing. So basically rRNA, it results in formation of proteins. So the proteins will be formed only with the involvement of ribosomal RNA. So with this background of all the 3, mRNA, tRNA, rRNA, next session we will be studying another important concept called translation, and then we will understand how exactly proteins are formed in our body, and proteins decide the phenotype. Whatever we appear, it's because of our phenotype. So let's see in our next session how exactly proteins are synthesized through translation.